Hello and welcome to episode 1 of our European adventure. So we finally know, after much tension, much guesswork, who we'll be playing in the first qualifying round in this season's Europa League. It will be Connah's Quay Nomads in Wales. We'll be playing down there at Rills Bellevue Park on the 11th of July with the return leg at Rugby Park on the 18th. A tie that a lot of people were happy with, easy to get to. And should be a team that we should be able to beat, but they have had good performances recently, as we'll find out in a bit. But here is everything you need to know about Connah's Quay Nomads. The Nomads were founded in 1946 and they play as a semi-professional team in the Welsh Premier League. They finished second in the league last year and they also got to the final of the Irn-Bru Cup, eventually losing out to Ross County.
So hello there, I'm Jordan Jones and I'm the founder of a Welsh domestic football website at Club Peldroid, and I'll be giving you the lowdown on your Europa League opponents, the Connah's Quay Nomads. So Connah's Quay Nomads finished second last season in the Welsh Premier League, earning a record points tally in the history of their club since getting into the top flight of Welsh football. They're managed by Andy Morrison, who was born in Scotland and had a playing career with Man City. We helped them win the playoffs. Ever since his arrival at the club has been on an upward curve, really. Is that they were languishing above the relegation zone when he was there. He came in, and every season he's been in charge. They've been in Europe now, so they won the Welsh Cup for the first time in their history in 2018, and that was massive for the club. So it's a sign that they're trying to make a stamp in Welsh football, because obviously everyone knows about the new Saints, but for Connah's Quay to win that Welsh Cup, it was massive for them. So in regards to their playing style, and Andy Morrison, is that it is physical football, it is your expected, your Route 1 football, but for me that's a philosophy that works for them. It has had some criticism from the Queen's Park manager when they were playing in the Irn-Bru Cup, but for me it works for them. The players at that club work to that philosophy, and it's worked in the Welsh pyramid system, really. It is that's why they finished second for as many years, is that they have a playing style, and it may not be pretty for them, but it's something that massively works for them. They've been competitive with it. They've been competitive with a lot of teams, and the only team that has really caused them any problems as such is the New Saints, and understandably the New Saints are the team to catch in Welsh football. So in regards to their supporters base, I'm from South Wales, so I can't give an overall opinion on them, but it does seem from when they've made their trips down to South Wales that a lot of their supporters are in fact Chester supporters as well. So perhaps Connah's Quay aren't the number one club to support, and that is a club that is more or less a second team for some fans. But that's not to say that the club has actually been working hard. They've been working hard to try and get more people into games, community visits and everything. So for them, it's all about trying to get the community involved in that as well. They've potentially got to move to Flint Town United's ground, so that's a local rival of theirs. They want to get their ground up to European standard so they can host their own European games rather than travelling to Rill, which is a few miles away. So for them to host their own European games at their own ground would be massive for them. They want to get it to a certain standard which would allow them to qualify, which would allow them to play their games in Europe. So in regards to their players, Michael Bakari this season won the Welsh Premier League Player of the Year. Fully deserved, in my opinion. There was a lot of competition, but Bakari has burst onto the scene with Connah's Quay over the last few seasons. Has been a massive part of what Andy Morrison's side does. He was previously at Wrexham but didn't really hit the ground running with them, but the Welsh Premier League has been a great standard for him. He's a player that's got a lot of pace, but he's also physical as well. So that's something to watch out for. There's George Horan, he was previously at Chester. He's Connah's Quay's captain and he leads by example. This is one defender where if you're level or they're just trailing it, he's someone that can reinvigorate them, really. He can lead them to perhaps trying to get level into the game or trying to chase something. So he's someone that I think you've got to pay an eye on. It is that he's just one of those players that Connah's Quay can look to and know he's one of their leader generals. in regards to what I've touched upon in regards to their playing style, is that that's what their players are. They're just hard-working players. But there is players like Bakari who have that individual brilliance. There's Callum Morris, who's got a great record in regards to scoring from the spot. So should Quay get a penalty in that game, is that he's one player that could duly deserve. They've recently signed Callum Roberts from Newtown, so he's one of the best left backs in the Welsh Premier League in my opinion, and there's only two other players that I could speak about in his ilk. So for the Connah to sign Callum Roberts is something for them. To build upon that shows their intentions for the Welsh Premier League season, of course, and it'll be interesting to see how he compares on the European stage as well. A lot of their players have left. They let go 9 or 10 players this summer, so they are working on a thin squad at the moment, and it'll be interesting to see if they do make any more additions ahead of the Kilmarnock game on the 10th of July. So that would be something for them to consider, whether there is enough time to get more players in, because there's not a lot of teams that they can play in regards to their pre-season friendlies as well. So in regards to the game against Kilmarnock, this is one of excitement. Of course, Connah's know how to play in the Ironbrew Cup. They reached the final this season, but in regards to playing Kilmarnock, this is the third best team in Scotland. Previously managed by Steve Clarke, and this appointment now of Antonio Conte's former assistant. It's going to be a tough test for Connah's Quay. I think it's great for them to have home advantage first, because they've previously had a result against the Finnish champions HJK Helsinki. They did lose a second leg, but we've seen it before where a Welsh Premier League team can beat a Scottish Premier League team, when Llanelli beat Motherwell. But for Connah's Quay is a really tough task for them. But it's one that excitement. It's a shame that it's not being held at their own venue, but it's not UEFA standard. But I'm sure Bellevue, although a smaller venue than perhaps the proposed racecourse ground, I still think Kilmarnock fans will thoroughly enjoy their trip down to North Wales.
The Nomads were one of the most accessible teams we could have drawn in this year's Europa League. For those who have a car, it is a simple 4 to 5 hour drive down to Wales. Otherwise, there are plenty of train options available. One word of advice: book the journey in stages. This should save you a lot of money. There will also be supporters buses running from Rugby Park. Hotels in Rhyl are mostly sold out for the night of the game, but there are plenty of places elsewhere to stay. There are local B&Bs, holiday parks, or you could find accommodation in Chester, Wrexham or Liverpool. Alternatively, some supporters buses may be travelling back to Kilmarnock directly after the game. Now, getting tickets for this game has been a bit of a cause for concern for Kilmarnock fans. Normally the capacity of Ryl's Bellevue Stadium is around 3,000 with a mixture of seated and standing. However, under UEFA regulations, standing is not allowed at Europa League games, and so this reduces the capacity to around 1,700. Now, assuming around 200 UEFA delegates and a couple of hundred Nomads fans, that will leave only about 1,000 to 1,200 tickets for Kilmarnock fans. Obviously, everybody is not going to get a ticket. We have at present sold around 3,500 season tickets, and so the club will have to decide how they're going to allocate the tickets on a first come, first serve basis. But no matter what, the support is going to be amazing. Can't wait to be there, and can't wait to see it all down in Wales for Kilmarnock's first time in the Europa League in 18 years.